the important thing here is that the people in this room, the people who may be watching now or will be watching in the future, the people who can listen without watching, the people who can watch without listening, because we have subtitles running on various platforms, is that the message is this, that once that we accept that things are possible, we're positive about those things, and we realize that change is the very fundamental of life itself, and the fact that really what we all need is a change that enables us to move forwards and be able to not just help ourselves, but help everybody in the process. A new way of thinking that is not the old traditional way of, yeah, let's sort of do something for somebody occasionally because we've got a little bit left over. But think about really changing the world, not about what we have left over, but finding new ways to benefit everybody out of what we all have. Stop people from taking that from us and instead give it, and do that in the right way, which is all based upon love and the fact that fundamentally we are all people and the power is in all of us, and that is why we are the solution, because all of the things that are possible not just through some entity on the outside, whether that's God or the power of the universe or energy or whatever that may or may not be. I'm a very strong believer in I can't discern who and what that is. I can tell you what it says in certain books, and I can tell you about my belief, and everybody here can tell each other about what they believe in. It's not necessarily about that entity. It's about how we interact with that entity, about what we do in our lives and how we interact with each other and everybody else, what we're willing to do to give and to receive. Because when we give, we truly do receive. And in both of those things, we can be truly grateful, as Joan said, to the fact that we are able to give and we are willing to receive. And I think that's the important thing for everybody here, is that part of the love that we share, the friendship, the ability to come together and to be able to share our lives and share our experiences and talk about different things and similar things, is that we just want to get along with each other. And my belief is that everybody really wants that. There's many messages out there in different formats and different places about how we hate this or that, or this thing is not right, or that thing is not right, and therefore we should hate this group of people, or we should hate ourselves. And some of us do hate ourselves because we're given that message. And that message is unimportant. The real message is that we should love ourselves and as a result love everybody else, because we're all part of a grander community. We're all part of humanity, and we should all work together for the greater good of all of us through people power, not just a few powerful people at the top. So that for me is the message that I bring. And we all have our own messages from different points of view, because we've all come from different existences and different backgrounds and different experiences that have led us to the very life that we are leading currently, in the very rooms that we are sitting in, whether that's Karen and Joan outside in the garden, to Zion there in Nigeria, to me in the dungeon. I'm in the basement, sorry. I keep forgetting what I'm allowed to say. Me in the basement. It doesn't matter where we are, whether it's the other end of the world or sat right next to each other. We can share love, and especially through technology, but especially, and I like this the most, you're giving people a hug and actually sharing some love together and being able to say that face to face. And it's my privilege to be able to do that in some ways. So,
Matt, are you saying Tom? Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to add him now. I was just saying there's another person who's joined us. I was about to introduce him. Keep your hair on. Right, here we go. So this is another new friend of mine, introduced to me by the wonderful Karen and Joan. And he's now joined twice, so I don't know which one to add him. Let's try this one. Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
Hey there. Boy, I'm reverbing here. Not open anywhere else.
Let me remove your other character. Okay, try now.
Okay. I guess I
Let me try now.
Okay,
You're very dark. We're not seeing you, Tom. Gotta get some light there. Move into
okay.
the
I
light.
turn the light up behind me. Yeah.
Okay.
Now turn the light up, please. I don't think it's. Yeah. Oh well. That's all the light I have right now. Sorry about that. Yeah, some people I met. There's Zion that I've seen many times. Of course, Karen and Joan, and I actually heard about Melissa, and of course the wonderful Dr. T. Yeah, we were used like mules, weren't we, Dr. T? Though. Yeah, we sure were.
I'd love to hear that backstory.
Yeah, well, he was in a put. Did you hear about the push-up contest that Dr. T was in?
No.
Why don't you
I
tell
have
us, Tommy,
never
about the push-up competition?
It might have gone viral. I heard. I don't know. Yeah, I had a
It will
vehicle
be.
overheat and break, and I was ranting and raving, and my phone was almost dead. And then I looked across the street, and there's an auto parts store. And I'm kind of like, yeah, yeah, higher power, I get it. Here you got the answer, and I got money, and there's an auto parts store, and everything turned out good. That's reminds me of that one about people, that guy in the roof praying for deliverance from the flood and to God, and the boat came by and the helicopter came by, and then he died, and his answer was right there for him. Sometimes life is funny.
Preach
Who won
on.
the push-up contest?
What happened?
Push-up
My
contest.
vehicle overheated, and I was going nuts because I'm 65 miles south from home, and it just happened out of nowhere. And anyway, I've got it fixed enough, I could get it home. But I'm freaking out and ranting and raving, and then I look across the street. That's so typical for me, So yeah, man, I'm sorry I came in so late. I just literally came in through the door.
Well, that's okay. You came in through the StreamYard, actually. There's no door to the StreamYard, but
yeah, well,
it's more like
I was backstage.
So,
and wasn't that great? Go
Dr.
ahead.
T.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. T was at the expo with myself and Joan and Karen and Lydia and many other people. I was on a phone call on the side of the periphery out of the way. And I can only give my view of what was happening. So I was on a phone call talking to a friend of mine over in Las Vegas about the conference, and I realized that there was a guy lying on the floor. And I said to her, just hold on for a second, because I wanted to see what was going on. And I said to her, I have to go. And I went over thinking, oh, something has happened, because there was quite a few people stood around. And I thought, what is going on here? Something's happened. And then I realized that the person was moving. I thought, oh, they're having like some sort of epileptic seizure, or they've plugged their finger into the power socket or something like that. But when I got over there, what I realized was that Dr. T was lying on the floor in a prone position, and he was opposite another guy. And what they were doing was doing press-ups together. And not only were they doing press-ups together, but they were doing one-handed press-ups, and in between them, they were high-fiving each other almost, trying to do some sort of weird competition or rain dance. I thought maybe they were trying to get some rain to come to New York City, but it wasn't that. It was just the fact that somebody had dropped a $1 bill, and they were trying to find it on the floor. I think that's what was happening anyway. Is that right, Dr. T?
No, that's not how it happened. No, actually, it was we were taking pictures, and this guy, I think he did some marketing or whatever, came by, and I think we took.
Who got the $1?
It wasn't even $1. $1 wasn't even part of the whole thing, but he just came up, and we were taking pictures, and he like, well, you get in the picture. I got in the picture, and then once I got the camera back, like he took his suit jacket off, And he was like, and I was like, okay. and he was like, yeah, like we should do a challenge. I'm like, challenge of what? He like, push-ups. Let's do push-ups right here. I was like, okay. And so I just took my jacket off, and then before I knew it, we were doing push-ups. And so yeah, it was just a random occurrence of of a challenge, and yeah, it happened. So just never know what'll happen or who will come and challenge you with
But
things.
sorry, but also that speak a lot about preparedness, because a challenge arise in the moment, and you were able to say, okay, I can meet that, I can do this, right? And you took your jacket off and you just got right in.
Yeah.
And sometime in life, when we face challenges, instead of wondering and trying to figure out, you embrace it. And
Can't
that's
wait
what
to
you
see
did,
those
right?
pictures.
I'd
Yeah.
like to add something
Yeah,
Yeah.
else because I
oh,
know Dr. T, and not just take your jacket off, turn up, show up, and get the job done. But this man conquers all, and basically the other guy was left laying on the floor. I would have said left standing, but Dr. T was then outside later on, and it's almost like he was just doing a warm-up exercise with this guy, winning the competition and rinsing the competition out of the other guy, because he was outside afterwards, just literally, right, what's next? Moving stuff around, getting rid of all the stock out of the stall, out the booth, carrying it all upstairs. I think if our second car hadn't turned up after half an hour, Dr. T would have been saying, look, you know what? We'll take the first car, and then I'll pick up all the rest of the stuff, put it in my backpack, and then I'll carry it off to wherever we need to go. Because that's what's enabled by the fact that we believe in ourselves, we take action, and we make positive change to be able to change the world, to conquer and to make things happen. Because it's not just belief in things, it's taking action. We can't just think about the future. We can't just look at it and say, yeah, that would be nice to happen. We have to make that happen. We have to make miracles happen. We have to be positive about those things and believe in them, most certainly, but not just believe in them and wait around for them to happen, or for God or the energy of the universe, or whatever we believe in. What matters is that we're prepared to not just believe in a different future, not just believe in the positive things that come out of belief, but also the fact that by taking action, we can really affect the way that things are and make it different into what possibly we all want and we all need. But anyway, I'm forever taking over a little bit. Let me just say hello to some people in the comments. There is one comment from my friend. I think his name is Jose, but it might be Jose. So I want to say hello to him. I have got your details for booking an appointment, and I'm going to have a chat with you very soon, Jose. There is also Royce. Royce, it has been some time since we met together, a long time ago. I was going to say when Zion, where's Zion gone? When Zion and I used to do a positivity room, Royce turned up. I know him from there. Then we have Melissa's husband, Markian, all the way from Ukraine. Another lovely lady called Brianna. I don't know you, Brianna. It's perhaps somebody here knows you. Whoever does or doesn't know you, you're most certainly welcome. And I hope that you enjoyed the show. Then we have Dan Burke. I don't know Dan either, but welcome, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here and helping to entertain you, inspire you, and show you some of our wonderful friends that exist all around the world. So we've heard the story about Dr. T. We've heard the story from
Where's
Tommy.
Zion?
The ladies have talked a little bit. Zion has probably had a little technical glitch. I am sure that he'll be back very soon. What tends to happen is that Zion is in Nigeria, and it's almost like they allow you to be on for a short while, and then you have to rejoin. I'm sure he'll be back momentarily. We used to have this problem a lot when we did a live show together. In fact, yeah, here he is now, lighting up the world with his smile. Zion is very famous in LinkedIn because Zion has one of those smiles that every single person in the world can associate to, and it helps bring out the positivity in the world. And that's part of the reason why he's Mr. Positivity. Welcome back, brother. You doing okay?
Can I point out one thing about Dr. T there? How many guys, almost 40, can get down and run push-ups like that? That's someone who's not only prepared, he stays that way. That doesn't just happen. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Your smile isn't as wide, quite as wide as Zion's, but it's just
Yeah.
as fresh, man.
And that was my turn.
Just
to
as
close.
deep, because both of their smiles go right the way to the core. I can vouch for that. Definitely. Melissa, do you want to share with us a little bit, not too much, a little bit about our upcoming KGC? Do you want to share with everybody a little bit about what we are doing and why I'm traveling halfway across the world just to get over to you and there in Las Vegas?
Yes, thank you. So we are solving homelessness. We are having the Kudos Global Conference here in Las Vegas with real actionable solutions to local and global homelessness. It's going to be an amazing event. Matt is going to share some of his great ideas on how to realistically put this into action. So I'm really excited for this 3-day event to happen. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 21st to the 23rd. All of you, I hope, are coming, and everyone else on the team and our extended team. We've got a lot of love going around, and I just can't wait. Everyone's coming here, and we're just gonna, hugs all around. So that's a little bit about what we are doing with the conference and resolving homelessness. And yeah, I can't wait to meet everybody.
Oh, yeah. So the conference for me is a stage into changing the world. And homelessness seems to be something that is fundamental to all of us. We can all see it in the towns and cities that we live in the countries that we live in our travels around from different place to different place. And not just homelessness, but in a general sense, poverty and the way that life is becoming more and more difficult for each and every one of us, whether that's financially or physically or mentally. And each one of us have our own difficulties to cope with, whether that's somebody who's rich who has some difficulty or somebody who's poor who has some difficulty. We're all people, and that very difficult is the thing that should motivate us to be able to make change and believe in change and take action to make something different happen. Back to giving and receiving, by giving of ourselves. And
Can I make a
sorry, Tom?
comment with about 6 degrees of separation? I've got somebody that lives
Sure.
with me in this little town out in the middle of Indiana who lived under a bush in Las Vegas with 3 other guys for 3 years. The other 3 guys are dead.
Oh,
He's
wow.
been sober. Yeah, it's one of my 12-step programs. He moved back here to Indiana, and he's been sober 13 years, 14 years. So that's amazing. But it's a real thing. I just can't believe you're talking about homelessness in Las Vegas, and it's major there, you know.
Yeah, to
I actually
piggyback
know
off of
somebody who
that,
did it.
it has
He said it.
grown
He said
so
it was
much.
great living out of the. Yeah, he was right down behind the strip. He said it was great living off the dumpsters there. He never ate so good.
Fortunately, not
It's
everybody has
exponential
access
since
to
I've
those
been out here
dumplings.
17 years, and it is just rows and rows of just of people living out of shopping carts and in with sheets and these sheet tents, and it's just rows and rows, and it's just so much more exponential. Just
I think Melissa's frozen.
Over the time. It was, oh, sorry. Even we were talking earlier, even on the good parts of town, it's just so widespread. It's everywhere. So this is definitely something we need, and I'm glad that we're taking it on.
Yeah. And to bring it back to Karen and Jones Expo that I was helping at and Dr. T was doing his press ups at, we were talking to many people, and certainly we were talking to them about holistic healing and the wonderful work that Karen and Joan do. But many of those conversations related to different things because we're talking to people about their difficulties and their existence, and that's why they're looking for this sort of help and support and being able to rely upon people that can help them in different ways, like Karen and Joan. But also their difficulties and their experience that's led them to those needs. And realistically, we all have our own difficulties, like I was explaining before. And sometimes we just need the help to be able to progress and to be able to realize that there is hope, that there is some future of realization that things can be different and that things will be different. And that's what the conference was really about. It's about positivity. And so that leads me to my dear brother. What about positivity, Len? Do you have something to share on that front?
I think we said a lot already today, and just to be able to share this space with us, it's always amazing. And doing the miracles individually and then coming together to form a collaborative miracle is the biggest thing that could ever happen in Las Vegas. And solving the issue of homelessness, and not just homelessness, the allowing people to feel the love, to feel the belonging, to feel the impact that we can make together. And I tell you, beyond just solving the issues of homelessness, you know, many persons are feel left out. But with this conference
Yeah.
coming up in Las Vegas, it's going to create an inclusive community. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter where you've been, but then we are one together. And for everyone who can be part of this, I encourage you to be part of this because it's going to be the bomb. It's going to be the best. And imagine all the
Mhm.
miracles from all over the world coming together in a particular location to form a bigger miracles. Imagine the kind of impact we can make. And like um, Matt said earlier, it's all about spreading positivity to every corners of the earth, one person at a time, where everyone can feel the love, the compassion, the empathy, and the gratitude in each and every one of us. And like I always say, in positivity, there's always possibilities. And with this, we are open to so much possibilities. Imagine from Las Vegas to every corners of the earth. So let's go to Vegas,
Sure,
and from
sure, sure.
Vegas we can reach other parts of the earth as well. So for for everyone who is here and everyone is listening to us, and to kudos Miracles International, who are doing amazing things every day. Let's keep being the miracles, let's keep making the impact, and let's keep spreading the positivity to every corners of the earth. So thank you so much. I yield the mic back over to you, Miss Mars.
So we've had another, yeah, exactly.
Great.
We've had another gentleman join us. This is another new friend of mine, slightly not so new as some of the people here, but not as old a friend as other people. But this oh, somebody's squeaking a little bit. This gentleman has been a wonderful friend to our organization, and I think he's lost his connection. Jimmy might be back in a moment. His name is Jimmy Spice, James Spice Curry. He's coming back. Jimmy, are you good? Can you hear me? No? You can see me, but you can't hear me. You can see me, no hear me. Can you talk? Oh, I think he's dropped out a little bit again. Okay, I'll speak for Jimmy for a moment. Jimmy, amongst other people, represent real change in the way that we at Kudos are working, in the sense that it's been difficult in the past for us to take on board a lot of people because we've been traveling a journey, much like everybody travels their journey, to get to a position of spreading our wings and telling people more and more about us. And we all know what that's like because we're not all very experienced in talking or in being on this thing. We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different journeys. And many of us have, well, I myself had not used this until I started back on LinkedIn maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And that's where Zion and I met back in that time. At that time, there was a lot more technical difficulties going on in my streams than what there seems to be now, even though there's still technical difficulties today. But that is a journey that we tread and that we progress along. And each and every single one of us, we need some help and support and some advice and some education to help us to be able to move forwards. And sometimes we need a helping hand, somebody that's willing to volunteer some help or support or whatever the case may be, some expertise and genuine ability to make our life a little bit better or a little bit different. So what I mean about this is that many of the people in this room, all of the people in this room, and many of the people in the comments and all the people around the world are here to help each other. We all know each other. Some of us not even met because I hasn't met many of the people here physically, but we've all talked or we've exchanged some messages or we've shared something about ourselves, at least today, if nothing more. And that's part of that journey, is to realize that we can all help each other and we can all grow together and we can all believe and make things happen. But we can make things happen more fundamentally when we work together, when we join together and offer of ourselves to be able to make change happen. Because realistically, the only way that we can make change happen, that we can defeat homelessness, that we can change the world into what our future we hope for, matches the things that we dreamt of when we were young, in the aspiration of what the world would be and where we would like to live and how we would like to live. And when we were young, we used to think potentially of a much better world that existed for all the people, not about some people are dying in wars or some people are living without houses or unable to eat or suffering from racism or sexism or any other difficulties that exist in the world. And there are so many. And what I really want to do is to get back to a point where there is this ability to change life back to those dreams, where we can live the miracles that we each are, but not just the miracles that we are individually, but together, so that then we can really make change and really get to a point where there is no returning back to these problems, because these problems shouldn't exist. These problems aren't going to exist. Only solutions should exist, and solutions are people, every single one of us and every single person out there in the world, because all of us, we are all mortals. So we're almost approaching the end of our session today. I don't want to overrun because I'm sure people have many things to do on this wonderful Sunday. So I just want to go around people in the room and just get a moment or two. Please, no more than a minute or two, everyone. Just give everybody at home a positive message about what you think for the future of the world. So why don't we start with the ladies, and we'll start with my lovely hosts of the host for this show, Karen and Joan.
Thank you. Listening to every one of you giving your positive message, we never know which person life we're touching every day that we walk this journey. I remember a moment in Javits Center. There was this woman, she walked up to our booth and we started to have a conversation. And I gave her the space where she could really bring out what was really bothering her at that moment. And just by giving her a listening ear. In 5 minutes, a lot of stuff came out from within her. And I started to talk to her. And as I was talking to her, the tears start to flow from her eyes. Right, Dr. T? The tears start to flow from her, and that was a releasing moment for this woman. And I said to her, the words that I said to her, I said, herself and her family, her siblings, they don't have a good relationship. And I said to her, from this moment forward, you got to get out the way. You're in the way, but you got to get out of the way. And you've got to leave this situation to the higher power. You don't try to fix this situation, just get out of the way. And she left with tears in her eyes. And she came back the Friday just to let me know that in space of 5 hours. But before I go to that point, I said to her, whenever we want to see things happen in our lives, we gotta look at things in a positive way. I said to her, you gotta see your brothers and your sisters talking to you. That is how you gotta see this whole situation. See them contacting you, see them talking to you. So she left and she went home. In the space of 5 hours, her sister she didn't talk to in 12 years called her. So she had to come back on Friday to let me know I have empowered her. So when she went home repeating to herself, my system is going to call me and I know she will. And in 5 hours, her sister called her. She didn't talk to her sister for 12 years. So you never know who you're impacting when you meet on this journey called life. Just continue to spread the love, just continue to spread the positivity, and help someone to change their mindset because mindset is the biggie. Once we can change our mindset, we can change our whole life. So let's start with the mindset. And myself and my sister, we know about homelessness. Back in our country, Guyana, we fed over 300 and something people one day. And we didn't know that the United Nations was looking at us. And they sent a letter to us to call us to go into their office. And when we went into the office, they gave us a plaque honoring us for feeding the homeless. So we got to start from somewhere. Look at in your community. See what you can start. Form something. Come out. Cook a plate of food and give it to someone who is homeless. We got to start from somewhere. And once we can start from somewhere, we can lift someone up who is down. Let's look at our community. Our community is where we got to start from. And we can able to empower people who are less fortunate. Right, Joe?
Yeah. Look, there's so many moments, there's so many things to share. But talking about feeding homelessness, which we started back home, is that no idea or no thought that come into your mind, don't ignore it. Think about it if it makes sense, and if it's a download, as we call it, download, you drop into your spirit, and you feel that burden, you feel impregnated with it inside of you, with that strong thing that in your gut. Go for it, because it came in as an idea, and we said, "Oh my God!" We discussed and we talk about it, and we said, "Okay, how are we gonna do this?" But don't worry about the how. There's none of our business about the how, because once you feel it and it came in as something that you feel strong in your spirit, the will come, the people will come, the level of alignment who align with that cause or that mission that you're trying to pull through with, you will be supported, and you will truly be amazed how it will happen. I just want to talk about the moments we experience at Javits Center. People are out there, as you
Of
rightly
course.
said, that you don't know what happened in one's life in one day. And this guy that he stopped by, I was speaking with him, and he said he traveled through all the booths in the center for that day. And when he stopped at our booth, and the words we exchanged, and the hope that was infused in him, because he's having a difficult time on his job, and just reminding him, putting the band in his hand, reminding him that he's special, reminding him that he's walking with grace, walking with his excellency. And he said, "Oh my goodness, nobody never talked to me like that." Because he felt that, okay, I'm not enough. No, you are enough. Believe in yourself. And once you can believe in yourself, there's so much can happen, because don't underestimate what you have inside of you is so much more that you can ever believe. So live from that space.
Mhm.
We love all of you, and keep walking in excellence.
You both. Uh, Dr. T, why don't you go next?
Okay, so what came to me was observation can lead to inspiration, and I think that's what I got from the whole trip being up there in New York. I got to observe Joan and Karen and people being drawn to them and their interactions with them, and then the outcome from that interaction. I got to observe us at dinner and being in the backyard and having a good time and having these conversations and loving on each other. I got a chance to observe, the city. I got to take in so much things, but it then led to me having a greater sense of like inspiration and fire and spark to get back to doing the things that I need to do that's for me to do. So sometimes you have to go to a new place, a new environment, meet new people to kind of reignite your fire, because your fire can go out because you have all life happens, things happen, what you thought would come or manifest at this time maybe hasn't or hasn't manifested in the way you thought it would. But just to be in an environment where people are all passionate about what they're doing, that can reignite your fire. And so I think that's what the trip did for me. Uh, and whether it was small or great or whatever, all of it added up to a great outcome.
Tommy, why don't you go next?
Dr. T stole most of everything I was going to say. And watching these two ladies, you saw it too, Matt, Miracle Matt and Dr. T, they would go out in the crowd, or I would bring somebody in and then try to hold them so that one of these two ladies could talk to them. And within 2 or 3 minutes, they were holding their hand or had their arm around them. And I thought maybe they knew, a few people came by that knew them, but that's how they work. They just come into your space, your energy, and it makes my eyes want to leak. If you had witnessed what I witnessed, like Dr. T and Matt did all day long with these ladies and what they did and what they do in their everyday life. That's the first time I'd ever met them. But once you're in their presence, you know. And that didn't just come from nothing. We did a show when they were talking about their mother and grandmother, and how they were raised. And these are little girls still pumping water for a bucket to grow food to give to the neighbors. That's all I need to say about that. Thank you, ladies, for sharing, for being with us.
Melissa, why don't you go next, and then we'll have some words of wisdom from Jimmy. Hopefully, Mr. Stable Signal is going to keep with us. Melissa.
Sure.
Can you
I
hear us?
Yeah, I am just wowed
Okay.
by it is such a privilege to be here, and I'm just wowed with what everybody has shared, and everyone's insight and experiences, and how we're all joined here, with the love and the positivity, and just the energy resonating here is so motivating. Just everything everyone has to say, I'm just taking it all in, and it's so uplifting. I'm so great. It's so great to meet you, Karen and Joan. I don't know if you're coming to Vegas, but everything, I would love to give you guys a big hug. Everything that you've said has just gone straight to my heart and is so inspiring. I'm glad we are here today for this. And Dr. T and Tommy, you guys are great. I love your stories as well. So I love Life Excavator, and I love Dr. T, what you said about things may not be going your way, but you're expecting it now, but it's gonna come. It may not be right now, but it's gonna come, and it's so insightful and so light at the end of the tunnel. There's hope. It's hopeful. So and also what I also heard that I loved was every day we can do little things, just little things, and they reverberate, and people pass them on, and from these little positive things that we do, they turn into big things and big changes. And it's I get emotional, but it's I'm glad we're here, and I loved hearing what everyone had to say and share. So thank you for having me here. So big hugs for everybody.
So
Big hugs to you
I was
too.
going to do that at the end. Okay, look, everybody, put your arms out around your screen and give everybody at home and here a giant hug, please. Just everybody give each other a giant hug, because thank you. I'm talking about big giant hugs. I'm not going to say anything to close. I'm going to let my dear friend Jimmy close us out with a quick word, because we've overrun with time. But he's not managed to get onto speakers yet, so I'm going to shut up, and Jimmy's going to share some wonderful words of wisdom and insight into the future of our world.
Putting me under
Jimmy.
pressure. I think you all can hear me okay.
There's no pressure, brother.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about this. I think often we don't realize how important it is to love ourselves. And so what I try to do for me, and you may think of this also, is loving what you have come from. All of you, all of us have overcome a lot that many people don't even know. And we sit here in a setting and communicate a lot of positive for a lot of good people, including ourselves. Society teaches us it's selfish, it's egotistical to think, oh, I'm a good person. Oh, I deserve love. Oh, I'm going to hug love. So remember to do that with your life, and to have the time for your emotional, mental health, etc. Because sometimes empathetic people give to everyone else and are left at the end of the journey with various empty bags that may lead to more drama. With all of you, it's been really great meeting you. I'm the newest person, I think, in the circle. I kind of hit the ground running, but I have to remind myself that I have to understand the culture and the dynamics occurring. And so sometimes I forget that, and I'm reminded in various ways. And thank you all for yesterday. I feel a song coming on. Anyway, we will get together again and move forward with everything. And Matt, and energy, I think it's intriguing by coming on board. It's been a blast back. You keep me on my toes, that's for sure. Everyone, keep doing what you do. And I'm still looking for the boxing martial arts match with a certain person. I won't call his name, but we're going to raise some funds for nonprofits after you beat me up. Just take it easy on the brother. 6 and ladies continue to be this. I have 4 children, so sometimes I look at them as special needs. So let's make miracles happen. Woo, 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 woo. That's it, y'all.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along and participating. There'll be a lot more exciting things happening in the journey as we, as I travel across the United States. I'm going to be sorry to be leaving New York and New Jersey behind, and I'm hoping to revisit again soon. But still, we continue our journey and we carry our love and our friendship and our relationships together in our hearts and our minds and on our Zoom chats. Let's continue to love one another. Let's continue to make miracles happen, whether they be small or massive, because all of those miracles add up to one thing, and that is changing the world that we all need. And I want to say thank you to you all for all of your participation, all of your wonderful words of wisdom and insights, and for the fact that you contribute so much to all that we do and all that the future might be. So thank you, everybody here. Thank you to everybody that's watching at home right now. And thank you to everybody that may watch in the future. We just want to leave you with this one thing, which is that we're going to change the world together, because we can only change it together. And the fact is that we are powerful people. The people in power, they don't know that yet, but soon they will, because we will change the world and we will make the world benefit us all, not just the few at the top. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful to see everybody, and I'll see you all very soon. We are the miracle.